So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact team you need to scale your coaching business to $100,000 per month, with in mind the ticket prices anywhere from 2 to 10K USD. This is going to be showing you the exact process I would follow if I wanted to scale to 100K a month with my own coaching business. Why should you listen to me? Essentially, you can see here some of our results. We're able to help a trader scale to over $200,000 a month in their biggest month by using a webinar. We're able to obviously scale to over $200,000 a month here for a client, over $87,000 cash for a client, $100,000 a month there for a client as well. Over $600,000 is attributed to us on WOP, and in the last 7 months alone, we've attributed to over $1 million in info product sales, around $1.2 to $1.5 million in cash collected for our clients across the board. Now, who is this video for? One, this video is for a growth operator, or two, this video is for a offer owner. Switch them around. It's what I've got on the screen. It doesn't really matter. But essentially, if you're not one of these people or aren't trying to become one of these people, probably click off now, because it's just a waste of your time. There's no point in you actually watching this and like getting insight from this, because you will, one, not understand it, or two, won't even take action on what I'm saying. Now, let's just get straight into things. But before we do get straight into things, take note that you can follow this and you're likely going to be able to scale to 100K a month. Again, that's not an income claim. There's no guarantees behind that or anything like that. But you can do this, or you can work with us on a done for you or done with you basis, where we'll come in and essentially build this exact process out for you, create this team in-house for you so you don't have to worry about it, and you can essentially watch us help you scale to 100K a month and hopefully even further later down the track with both paid and organic traffic. Now, let's just get straight into the marketing side of things. Marketing is essentially the engine of your business. Without this, you have no leads. At 100K a month, you need to understand copy at a decent level, unless you have us, obviously, if you want to actually get there. Because again, I say you need to understand what you're doing. You need to understand the role before hiring for it. Like, you don't flip in, get the CEO of McDonald's to hire a patty flipper when he doesn't know how to flip patties himself. That's just really, really dumb, right? Why would you do that? Because how are you going to figure out a good patty flipper? Or on a more like high level, how would you hire a COO if you don't know how to operate a business at 8 figures a year, 9 figures a year, 10 figures a year, whatever McDonald's is at, probably 11 figures a year, who knows? You need to understand the role before hiring, basically outsourcing it. So the first role, and probably not the most important, but the highest leverage role you can bring in, is bringing in a copywriter, okay? Now, what this copywriter is going to do, they're going to write all of your low leverage copy, or all of your copy depending on your kind of capabilities when it comes to writing copy and being a general marketer as a whole. For example, if you're like an e-com or something like that, you've probably got decent level of marketing skill when it comes to writing VSL, scripting emails, scripting ads, and that type of thing. So you can probably do lots of this yourself, which is where this role kind of becomes inadequate, especially only at 100K a month. So what are these people going to be doing? They're going to be writing your weekly emails. They're going to be also doing every single sequencing thing when it comes to pre-call, SMS, everything like that. They're going to be scripting your breakout videos. They're going to be scripting your webinars. They're going to be scripting your thank you videos. And then they're also going to be doing your VSLs and ads when it comes to scripting, ideation, and creative direction. Again, you can slot in and come in here. You may be an ads expert, or maybe selling an offer on ads, which would just be dumb. Like, why would you want to outsource the whole offer, like what you do, to someone else who's probably not as good as you? So again, take this with a grain of salt. Use it depending on your skill set. Now, the goal here is to free up you from doing repetitive stuff. You'll see this over and over again, but this is essentially the whole point of having a team, is to free yourself up from doing the low leverage repetitive tasks. Now, how do I know what I'm doing day by day by day? You may be asking, because again, like, you have no clue what you're doing throughout the day. You may think you know, but you've genuinely got no clue. Using a units of time kind of niche like this, got this from Mark Builds Brands. Essentially what it does is you track every half an hour of your day. You don't need to wake up every half an hour, but you essentially just track it, give it a category, give it a value or a waste, give some notes on it, and then give a productivity/focus score out of 10. And at the end of the week, you come back and see how you're actually spending your week when it comes to every single hour, what you're doing, when you're doing it, and why it's happening. If you do want this, just flick me a DM, asking for the 100 units of timesheet, and I'll be able to send it over to you as well. But yeah, essentially that is the first role. Copywriter is a very, very foundational role. You will not be able to scale to $1 million a month, or even past like 100K a month, unless you've got a lot of time on your hands and a pretty decent level or understanding of copy and marketing as a whole without a copywriter, right? Now, the second thing is a media buyer. Now, this is situational because you are going to have no media buyers in some cases. Like we've scaled offers to 100, 200k a month organically, and we've also scaled them to those numbers with paid. But essentially, what this media buyer does is they're going to be managing the creatives inside your paid media outlets, whether it's Google, YouTube, Meta, whatever it is. They're going to be doing that. They're going to be managing the creatives, so you essentially have a hands-off experience and you don't even need to touch them. They kill them. They give ideas and feedback to the copywriter, and essentially they control the creative direction and a general kind of media when it comes to paid. Now, essentially what they're going to be giving you is they're going to be doing weekly reporting. They're going to be killing and bumping your creatives, obviously letting the winners win and letting the losers die off and die. And then essentially they're going to be allowing you to not worry about checking the ads manager every day, every 6 hours, every 12 hours, or however often you want to see them. Essentially, they're going to be making sure that the ads manager runs smoothly, you don't get any warnings, and you don't really have to worry about that. So you can focus on the tasks that make sense to you. I want to be really, really clear with this. You need to be able to have a laser-like focus on specific things if you want to scale to 100k a month or more. Now, the goal here is to essentially, again, allow your focus on recording scripts and creating content. So scripts that the copywriter's built, or just creating organic content to grow your audience as well. Now, the last but not least is our video editor. Now, the video editor is essentially the first hire I believe you should make before a VA. Essentially, they're going to be editing all of your content, long form, short form, paid, and organic, okay? Lots of people want to edit their own content organically, but most of the time it's just not worth it. You may as well just outsource that as well. Now, these people are going to be editing YouTube videos, they're going to be editing Reels, they're going to be editing funnel videos. We've actually got people in-house in our agency that do all of this for our clients. And like, for example, we've got a funnel video editor, we've got a short form editor, we've got a YouTube video editor, and we've got like an ads editor, which is kind of the same thing as the short form editor. As you can see here, they're also going to be editing your paid media, but you can have one person kind of going through that whole process with you, as long as they're good in quality, right? Now, honestly, this is the first hire you should make, right? It's the first hire you should do. Or you should make when actually wanting to scale, or even just starting your coaching business, when you're actually wanting to take this thing seriously, when you're wanting to scale it pretty hard and do things the right way from the start. Essentially, this is what I would recommend. This is like the one skill that you don't necessarily need to understand or learn to a really high level before outsourcing it. For example, media buying, you need to understand that to a decent level, as well as marketing and copywriting, you want to understand that to a decent level, unless obviously you've got someone like us or got us directly inside of your account running everything. But yeah, essentially the goal here is to save you a bunch of time and focus on actual outputs and actual things that make sense. Now, in order of hire, I think editor should be first, then I believe copywriter, then I believe media buyer. This is just on the marketing side of things. And again, it is all about your skill set. For example, if you're selling a video editing offer, you're not going to hire a video editor first. You're probably going to hire someone like a copywriter or a media buyer, right? Because you want to be editing your own content. You want to have control over that. Because again, if your content looks horrible and you're a video editor teaching people how to do video editing, it doesn't really make sense, right? It just doesn't work, okay? Now, what happens on the sales side? These are the people that are going to make you money and close leads for you. These are the guys that are actually going to bring cash in the door, book calls, and turn everyone's efforts over here on the marketing side of things into tangible results and actual cash collected, right? Now, the first role you're going to be hiring here at 100k a month, which isn't super high scale, is going to be a setter. Essentially, these are people who are going to be setting calls, as you can see in the name, whether they be in the Instagram DMs, or they be inside of your CRM dialing, or they be in both. They are essentially going to be dialing, calling, DMing, messaging people to try and see if they can book them in, or triaging them, which is essentially once someone books in a call, they are going to then get triaged and confirmed and entered into your pre-call sequence, right? Now, KPIs when it comes to dialing, for us, we have either $100 a day or 2.5 hours of talk time across offers. So if that's 2 offers, they have to do 5 hours talk time and $200. Typically we don't like to offer stack unless it's like, we've got an absolute killer. So if we are offer stacking you, you're a killer. But if we're not, you're probably on a good offer already. Now, other than that, tangibles when it comes to setting, because you can do $100, you can do 2.5 hours talk time and get 0 sets, because at the end of the day, the only thing that's going to put cash in that setter's pocket is how many calls they can book and close and actually converts, right? So on top of that, we like to add 3 to 5 outbound sets per day, not including triages. So if a call inbound comes in, that doesn't count to your total. And this is every single day, 7 days out of the week, every day, non-stop. Absolutely killing it. These guys are absolute killers and dogs, right? The goal here is to book the closer's calendar out completely, so you have to hire another closer. So essentially, these guys are really, really important. You can have a really, really good closer, but not have any calls on the calendar and not make any money. You can have a really bad closer and have a really good setter that's just setting a load of calls, and essentially be like set. You're like easily able to scale to 100K a month just because the call volume's there. But if you combine a really, really quality closer, you are essentially going to be increasing your output by like 3 or 4x. But who is a closer? These people are closing the deals and collecting the cash, essentially making you the money. They are making you the money. They are the last stage in the lead kind of nurturing process. So it's gone from the marketing, gone to the setter, and now it's at the closer. The closer is essentially going to be closing these calls that the setter is triaging or just booking into the calendar directly from outbound. Now, KPIs on this is very subject to offer traffic sources. For example, if you're running a cold VSL funnel to America, your close rate and show rate are not going to be as high as if you're running a warm webinar to an emerging market like Australia, right? So the obvious like choice when it comes to KPIs is like you ideally want to shoot for industry standards, but again, it is very, very, very traffic source specific and demographic specific and location specific. So essentially offer specific, right? If you have not got this dialed in, you are just not going to cook. So KPIs are really, really important, but again, it's not the be all and end all when it comes to closing. When I'm talking about okay, so let's just talk about KPIs. As you can see, subject to the offer traffic sources. What I mean by this is your KPIs are going to be very, very different if you're running a cold VSL funnel to a very B2C audience inside of America to where if you're running a warm webinar to an emerging market that hasn't been exposed to much info like Australia or something like that. The KPIs are going to be very, very different between the two because the offer, the demographic, the ICP, the location is completely different. Hence the KPI differential, right? Now, the goal here is to book the closer's calendar out completely by the setter, okay? And the goal for the closer is then to essentially close these calls. Close these calls at a very, very high rate and collect as much cash up front as possible. Now, that is essentially the team that is going to take you to 100K a month. Very, very simple on the outside, but there is a lot more to it when it comes to that side of things. But as I said, the biggest issue is not finding these people. That is actually the easiest part. The hard parts are one, retaining these people and actually getting these people in these two kind of teams, as you can see here, to gel together nicely and essentially be able to work together at a very, very high frequency, which essentially stops you from having to become like the gel between the two, between like, okay, in one ear, out your mouth, in one ear, out your mouth type of thing. You do not want to be the scapegoat and essentially communicating everything when it comes to team communication. You want these guys to gel exactly, and you guys want these guys to stay as well, because if they don't gel, they're not going to stay, and then you've got to go through this whole hiring process again. And again, it's easier to find people, but it's harder to find 20 of the same people of the same quality, right? Especially if your reputation's starting to get ruined because you can't manage these people correctly, or promise the results that you're promising, right? Which is essentially where we come in. So if you don't want to have to deal with the headache of managing all these people and wanting to eliminate all of the guesswork when it comes to scaling to 100K a month plus with your coaching business or licensing business, or you just want help on a consulting basis, you can book a call below and see how we can work with you on a done with you or a done for you basis. Essentially, the call's not going to be a sales call. It's more so going to be like a general audit of your business to see kind of how things work, and if everything makes sense, we will then make a plan moving forward. And again, it's not like one size fits all. I'll tell you and be honest with you. Everyone's got different needs and different kind of wants for general goals and also general needs for their offers. So this is kind of where that general audit comes in, where we audit your offer and see kind of how things work. But yeah, essentially that is the team that's going to scale you to 100K per month. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance here. If you do want to book a call below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Comment what video you guys want next as well, because I'm just curious on like what value I can provide for you guys. If you guys want the Miro board, you want anything that I mentioned, like the time tracker sheet here or anything else, just let me know and just or just let me know on Instagram and I can sort it out for you and help you guys out in whatever way possible. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching to the end, and I will talk to you guys in the next YouTube video very, very shortly.